I guess the short kind of synopsis version is, you know, that there's always kind of been a bit of a family history with depression and things like that. And I, you know, when my kind of more personal situation with how I kind of ended up with all that in all that, I guess you could say, is just, you know, my you know, parents got divorced when I was really young, and as much as, you know, them getting along kind of helped ease that, that was always kind of something that was always there. And you know, I've continually, you know, I have my ups and downs. I've relapsed with everything a couple times, but honestly, what was just a huge big part of that was the whole process was my dog, was Bree, who is actually chilling here. You say hi to everybody. So this is Bree. Sorry to interrupt real quick, but this is Bree. She, you know, she was such a big part of everything because she's just always been there. And when I first moved in with my dad going into 8th grade year, it was a really last minute thing. My parents were planning on me going to a really small private school. And it was like a last minute thing, like a week and a half before 8th grade year. And the only people I knew that were going to Lovejoy were my neighbors, who were in my sister's grade, who were a year younger than me. And outside of them, I didn't know anybody. And so really Bree kind of just took on this role of being, I mean, my best friend. I mean, I didn't really have anybody else. And I could get to the point as I got closer and closer to kind of that tipping point freshman year where I could convince myself of every single person in my life, and I could go through and be like, this is how they would be better off if they didn't have to deal with me every day. I could never get to the point where I could convince myself that she would be better off without me, because at that point I had already, you know, I knew enough about dogs to know that not only, you know, can dogs feel like emotion and love and things like that, but that dogs can be depressed too. I think that's honestly been the biggest part of like me getting through the last 4 years. And, you know, while the last year and a half especially has been better, and it's not been so much as getting through as actually enjoying it, which says a lot as to where I was then. You know, I think if there was one big point of why I wanted to do all this was to kind of, in a sense, be able to say like, hey, you can make it out of this because I have.